Starting on our back, I invite you to bring your awareness to your breath. If you're able to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, great. If you can't breathe in through your nose, that's okay, just keep breathing, however you can breathe. And as we're bringing our awareness and attention to our breath, just take an opportunity to check in with your whole body. Physically notice how you're feeling today. Some of you mentioned some areas of aches and pains, or maybe some soreness. Just taking that opportunity in real time to check in. I also invite you mentally to check in. Just right now, notice where you're at. Maybe a little sleepy still. Or maybe wide awake. And just a reminder, as we go through the class today, feel free to modify this class, make it what your body needs today. Maybe that's making it more of a challenge and holding a pose, or maybe that's giving yourself permission to find balance and maybe rest. What does your body need this morning? Maybe it means grabbing a tree for balance. That's okay. Allowing yourself to let go of expectations, judgments that you might have with yourself. I invite you now to bend your knees if they're out straight, and we'll take a moment just to do a little windshield wiper movement with your legs. So your feet can stay on the ground, and just take a gentle side to side knee rock through whatever range feels okay, just checking in with the hips and the low back this morning. And then finding our center position, let's draw your right knee to chest, and we can take the left leg out straight. Pressing your left thigh downward if that feels okay. So as you're actively pulling your right knee to chest, you're pressing your left thigh downward. And then maybe let's reach that right foot up towards the sky any amount. We can take a little ankle pumping motion or some circles if that feels okay. Just kind of getting everything moving a little bit this morning before we get upright against gravity. And then changing legs, we'll hug left knee to chest as we're pressing the right thigh downward. So initially just finding those opposites, knee to chest on the left, pressing the right thigh down. And then we can reach that left foot upward, any amount, taking maybe some ankle pumps or circles, whatever feels good. And then we can lower the leg back down, hugging both knees to chest, a little curl of your low back. And then we can place our feet down with our knees bent. And let's press into a bridge here, lifting the hips, pressing into all four corners of each foot. If you'd like to, you can interlace your arms underneath. Kind of wiggle your shoulder blades together a little bit. Taking care to relax your neck here. Imagining just a little bit of an opening across the front of the hips. And then we can slowly lower back down. And then let's take the knees and just let them fall towards the right as far as they want to. If you want to, you can take your arms out to the sides a bit. Just meeting our body where it's at. And then we can shift our knees over towards the left. Noticing any side-to-side differences. We'll be able to stretch a little longer at the end of class, so we're not holding these too long this time. And then back towards center. From here, let's go ahead and make our way to hands and knees. So over to a side of choice, and then we can find our way to hands and knees. If anybody needs more padding, you can kind of grab your mat and double it over like that for knees too, if that feels better. And so from hands and knees, we'll find a little bit of a belly tightening. So finding our deep abdominal contraction, we draw belly towards spine with a tightening. And then from here, we'll take the right leg and reach it back behind you, reaching the back toe downward and lengthening out the back of your heel. If you'd like to, you can add the left arm forward with the thumb angled upward. And feel free now, if you can hold this, or we can take knee and elbow towards each other as we round your spine upward. And then back out. Maybe another couple of times there, just moving at your own pace. Nice work. And then we can release arm and leg. And let's take the left leg out, long, and then if you'd like to, you can add the arm. And then the option to hold or move a little bit with elbow and knee towards each other. And then eventually finding hands and knees. Let's move into a child's pose here. Knees coming a bit wide-ish, heels together, and then just rocking your hips back any amount. You can rest your forearms, or you can make this more of an active stretch, reaching your arms, your hands forward, either way. And as we're breathing here, I invite you to expand on the inhale out the back of your rib cage. Kind of imagine this 360-degree expansion. But we're thinking in this position about the back of the rib cage. Notice if one side feels a little tighter than the other. And on the exhale, just a lengthening of your spine, relax and releasing as you're able. So maybe take one or two more breaths there. Now we're rocking up to find hands and knees again. Moving into just a little bit of cat and cow. On the inhale, dropping the navel, smiling the collarbones forward, and then on the exhale, rounding your spine. Here too, feel free to move at your own pace. So if you want to move with breath, go for it. Or maybe it feels kind of good just to stretch one direction or the other, totally fine. Honoring what your body needs this morning. And then eventually we can take a pause. Let's give one wrist a little wiggle, other wrist a little wiggle, and then we're gonna make our way into down dog. If anybody prefers not to do down dog, that's totally fine. You can meet us in standing. But otherwise, we're gonna find our down dog here. And in down dog, you can take a moment to pedal your heels, one and then the other. Just finding those initial ankle stretches that feel good. Soft through the knees, so our knees can stay a bit bent. Pressing the floor away from your hands. Inhale, exhale. And then let's go ahead and walk our feet towards our hands, bending through the knees, and we're rising all the way up to standing. Taking a reach, and then arms to heart center. We'll take a pause here, just feel your feet underneath you, Let your head catch up against gravity. And then folding forward. So soft through the knees, a little forward fold. Notice how the low back and the hamstrings are feeling. And then let's, from this forward fold, step the right leg back and we'll find a lunge position. So press into your feet as you come up to high lunge. Perhaps from our high lunge, we can kind of feel that back leg straightening, lengthening. Shoulders away from the ears as we're able. Just tuning into our breath for a moment. And then taking arms to heart center. Reaching forward, if you'd like to, we can take a little leg lift with that back leg lifting. In our mind's eye, we're all doing the splits, right? So right leg lifting. And then lowering that right leg into a deeper lunge. So planting it behind you. There we go. And the right arm can stay planted. And then the left arm can lift. I don't need it, but you're good. Okay. So left arm lifts for a twist. And then we're untwisting. From here, let's step back to plank. You can always take kneeling plank as an option too, or hands and knees, whatever feels best. And then we're pressing into our down dog, lifting the hips. And let's take a breath in and a breath out. Then walking our feet towards our hands, bending through the knees. Let's find our chair pose. And all the way up to standing, taking a stretch here, and arms to heart center. If you're comfortable closing eyes for a moment, feel free to do so. And again, we'll just take a reset, a pause. Feel your feet, feel your whole body. And then from here, let's fold forward. We're gonna step your left leg back to find your high lunge. So left leg back, pressing into your feet, and then we're making our way up to high lunge. Letting the shoulders sink away from the ears. Lengthening out the back of the leg. And then we can take arms to heart center. Reaching for the floor. If you'd like to, you can add a little leg lift with that back leg. And then we're placing the leg back down long for that deeper lunge. Lowering the hips as you'd like to. Left hand can plant, right arm can lift for a twist. And then we're untwisting. Stepping back to our plank, or again, always feel free to take a child's pose or hands and knees or kneeling plank. And then we're lifting hips to down dog. Breath in, breath out. One more breath in, just sigh it out. I mean, you can keep breathing after that. An intentional breath. And then we're walking our feet forward, bending through the knees. Let's find our chair pose. And then all the way up to standing, taking a little extra reach and arms to heart center. Taking a pause for a moment. Again, if you're comfortable closing eyes, I invite you to do so. Just reconnecting with your whole body. Breath in, breath out. And then we're going to take a little side bend. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. So taking your right hand, I'll mirror you guys, taking your right hand to your hip, Left arm can reach tall. Let's wiggle the feet together. Planting your left foot downward, lean towards your right. I'm gonna take the mat back. I won't use it. Okay. And then back towards center and other side. Reaching the leg or the arm up and over. This time feeling like you're planting your right heel downward, or your right foot. And back towards center. Let's just take a couple shoulder shrugs up to the ears, roll them back, and release them in that down position. Arms to heart center, folding forward. Again, just take a pause here. Knees can be soft. This time, stepping our right leg back, let's find our warrior one. So back heel is down, toes are out, and then pressing up to find warrior one. Feeling strong through our legs. Let's stay another breath or 3 here. And then just letting the arms float down by your sides. We'll find our humble warrior, pulling shoulder blades together behind you, and then shifting forward. A little tuck of the chin. And then pressing back upright to find warrior one. From our warrior one, let's spin towards the pool, towards the right, and we'll find warrior two. So the left knee can bend, and then the right knee can stay straight here. From our warrior two, let's take a little eagle arm. So the right hand can come underneath the left. If we're taking care of shoulders and that doesn't work, you can always reach for opposite shoulders as an option too. And then we're angling or hinging our hips at our hips towards the inner left thigh. So kind of shifting forward and down any amount here. And then back up. And releasing the arms. Let's straighten your left knee. We can turn this into our triangle pose, turning palms up, shifting to the left, and then down for triangle. And then bending our left knee back up to warrior two. Let's reverse the warrior. Right arm reaches down, left arm reaches upward. And then we can float into our side angle, left elbow towards thigh, or you can reach the arm down. You can turn that into an extended side angle if you want to bring your right arm up and over a little more. And then back upright, warrior two. Taking arms to heart center, let's pivot around to face this direction. And then we can reach down towards the mat. And from here, just take a nice deep hip stretch as you're comfortable. So you can lower the hips, you can lower the knee if you'd like to. And we're just angling the hips forward for a moment here. If we look down, we want to make sure that our knee is not going way past our foot. If it is, we can just shift our foot forward a little bit, holding that stretch. Turn this into a little knee pad. And then if you'd like to, you can take your arms on the inside of your left foot and then just kind of let your left knee fall out a little bit. It may not move far, that's okay. You get credit for thinking about it. Just finding your stretch. And then let's Let's go ahead and shift slowly out of this. We're gonna take your left leg back underneath you, tucking toes, moving into down dog. Yeah, so we won't be long on the knees there. Finding a down dog, breath in, breath out. Feel free to sigh that breath out. And then we can walk our feet forward towards our hands, bending through the knees all the way up to standing, taking a reach. And arms to heart center, folding forward. This time stepping your left leg back and we'll find our warrior one. So back heel can come down, toes out. Finding our way up to warrior one. Just finding that grounding with our feet. Taking in all those surrounding sounds. And then we can float the arms down by our sides, pinky towards hips, pulling our shoulders open, and then shift into our humble warrior. And then releasing back and overhead. Then we're gonna spin towards your left to find warrior two. So your left knee will be bent and your right knee will be bent. That's what I meant to say. And your left knee will be straight. And so from our warrior two, taking that opportunity just to decide if our legs wanna go out further or if we want them a little closer, just kind of find where that distance is for you. And once we're here, we can take the left arm underneath the right or reach for opposite shoulders. So either way. And then we're angling towards that inner right thigh to find our stretch here, hinging at the hips, a little tightening through those belly muscles. And then back. Releasing through the arms. From here, we can straighten that right knee. Let's turn this into triangle. Palm is facing up, shifting right and down for triangle. And then we're bending the right knee, back up, warrior two. From here, let's reverse the warrior, left arm down, right arm lifts. And then coming back through our warrior two and into our side angle. Elbow towards thigh, or you can reach down, or you can bind the side angle. Feel free to extend the side angle if you want that left arm, reaching further over wherever it lands. Taking arms to heart center, we'll pivot towards this direction. We can take that deeper hip stretch here. And so option to keep that back knee lifted for that deep hip stretch, or you can lower it, either way. Again, we may need to shift your right foot forward a little bit. And then if you want to, you can hold this, or you can take your hands on the inside of that right foot and just let your knee fall out a little bit. And then we're shifting towards the back leg. We can help your right leg underneath you. And then we're gonna make our way back into down dog. So feel free to tuck the toes and shift back upright into our down dog. Breath in, breath out. And then we're walking our feet towards our hands, bending through the knees, all the way up to standing. Taking a reach, and arms to heart center. Moving into our balance just a little bit more. So again, feel free if you want to hang on to the side or a tree. We'll take arms to heart center, and let's take our eagle pose. We've kind of been talking about eagle and eagle arms. Rooting through your left leg first. I'll mirror you guys, so I'll do my right leg. We can lift your right knee, and then cross it over. And we're hugging our thighs towards each other as we hinge at the hips. Kind of angle your hips back a little. And then you're welcome to hold this, or if you want to add those eagle arms, right underneath left. We're drawing elbows up towards the plane of the shoulders as you're able. To release back to 2 feet. Give your standing leg a little wiggle, and then on to the other side. Rooting through your right leg, left knee lifts. Crossing the leg over, hugging the thighs, hinging at the hips like you're going to sit in a chair. If you want to, you can add the eagle arms, lefty underneath righty. Finding a spot to gaze on, which is hard with our eagle arms up, to help with our balance. And then feel free to release back to 2 feet. Take a little shake with the legs. Let's do one more balance, and I think the hips are usually a popular target. So we'll take our figure 4, rooting through your left leg, taking the right leg. This time we're taking figure 4 instead of crossing or hugging the thighs. And then we're sitting the hips back, finding that spot in front of you to gaze on to help with your balance, finding that focus. To 2 feet, and on to the other side. Nice job. It's a little harder with sweat dripping down the leg. Like, stay. There you go. To 2 feet. Nice work. Yeah, let's take a nice stretch upward here. Inhale. Just letting the arms float back down. Exhale. And we can take a little wide leg stretch, so maybe even facing the pool. Wide leg on the mat. And let's bend the knees and just reach down towards the mat or the ground here. And we can take our inner thigh and hamstring stretch for a moment. If you want to, you can hold center position, or you can bend that right knee, walk your way over, biasing the inner thigh stretch. Some of you may want to go all the way down. And so just feel free to explore here, side to side, based on what your body wants to do for our inner thigh stretch. Job. And then eventually making our way back upright, Finding our head against gravity again, let everything kind of catch up, and then we can wiggle our feet back underneath us. Okay, somebody who has a watch on, what time is it?
8:01.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good. So, finding the top edge of the mat, let's take an inhale, reaching up, and exhale, folding forward. Let's add a little inhale, halfway lift, a little flowy motion for a moment. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, forward fold. One more time, inhale, lengthen, exhale, forward fold. Stepping back to our down dog. You can take a little hip stretch here. So inhale, lift the right leg up behind you. And then we can bend your knee and then just kind of reach your foot towards the left, towards your left. A little hip stretch. And then we can straighten out, square up. We're gonna take a child's pose between legs. So lowering to child's pose before we do the other side. So just take a few breaths in your child's pose. As we're here, check in with your body. Notice how it's feeling. And then we can make our way back upright and finding our down dog. This time, inhale, lift the left leg up. And then you can bend the knee, and the foot is reaching towards your right. And then squaring up and lowering back down. From here, let's go ahead and come to a seated position. You can come to hands and knees, and then we'll shift to seated. Taking your right leg out, we can tuck your left knee in. So right leg out to the side, and we'll tuck your left foot in, sorry. There you go. And then let's reach towards your right foot. With that right arm, any amount. Left arm can stay down, or you can lift it up and over. So just kind of finding your stretch here. That works best for your body. Using our breath with the stretches. And then let's go ahead and change to the other leg. Initially finding length through your spine, then reaching towards your left leg. Maybe the right arm stays down, maybe it lifts up and over. We can make our way out of that. Let's do our straddle stretch before we shift a little closer to the ground. So facing or finding wide leg position, maybe sitting tall is where your stretch is today, that's okay. Maybe we want to hinge forward, so just kind of finding what works for you. Yes, you may need to angle a bit. Just working to connect your whole body with your breath. Maybe that means we're coming out of the stretch a little bit, or just assessing whether we can still connect. And then making our way back upright. Let's shift onto our back. And once we're there, we'll keep our knees bent, and I'll talk you through it from there. So on our back, keeping our knees bent, arms out to the sides, we're gonna keep the feet hip distance apart and let them fall towards the right. So we're keeping them hip distance apart because it'll change your stretch just a little bit. And then from here, I invite you to just try a 3-part breath. So on the inhale, let your belly rise, expand your rib cage, and direct the air up underneath your collarbones. And on the exhale, just relax, release. And if it feels okay, you can take a few breaths using this 3-part breath kind of focus. Allowing your neck to relax, the front of your shoulders to relax. Put your shirt in your pocket. And then let's go ahead when you're ready and shift your knees towards the other side. So back through center and over to the other side. And if you'd like to, you can do some 3-part breath here too. Feeling free to slowly shift your knees back to midline as you're ready. And then we can take our butterfly stretch here. So feet together, just allowing the knees to fall wide. This is another great position to work on some breathing. And in this position, we can just keep it quite simple with our diaphragmatic breathing. So on the inhale, feeling the rise of the belly. And on the exhale, the belly lowers. If we have any low back discomfort with this position, feel free to just tilt the pelvis a little bit. So you're pressing the small of the back downward a little bit. A couple times, that can sometimes help relieve pressure. holding tension in your neck, your jaw here too. Giving yourself that reminder to just relax and release through the neck and jaw. And then feel free to take a moment. You could hold this position longer, or if you want to, you can take a happy baby or any other stretches that maybe feel good to finish out your practice this morning. So feel free to just kind of explore, see what your body is craving to do to finish out the practice. There's no rush at all, but as you feel ready, feel free to make your way into a position for Shavasana. Finding your way either on your side or your back, knees bent or straight, or stomach or sitting, whatever position you want to be in. Allowing yourself to bring your awareness back to your breath. Maybe for a couple cycles, just follow your breath as it enters your deep nasal passages, filling your lungs, and as it exits. And then I invite you, like we did at the beginning of class, to just check in physically. Notice how your whole body feels physically. Maybe allowing a sense of relaxation with each exhale in the neck area, the jaw, the shoulders. The back muscles. The hips and glute muscles. And the legs, just feeling that sense of heaviness as if your body is melting into the surface that it's on. Relaxed. I invite you also to check in mentally again. Notice how you feel compared to the beginning. Allowing yourself to be fully present in this safe space.